Hello there. I'm trying to make sure I'm not sitting there looking goofy when I first start the freaking video because I did notice that when I first start my live videos, I just be sitting there like zooming out, looking all over the place, looking weird. But anyway, I got my gym clothes on. I know y'all probably can't see it, but I'm going to the gym today. Well, yeah, I'm going to the gym today. That's why I put my gym clothes on before I even launch this live to make sure that I ain't just walking around looking stupid with these gym clothes on. I do need to go upstairs and vacuum like I said I was going to do. Anyway, y'all ain't come on here to hear about me going to the gym or me cleaning my house. Hopefully, y'all came on here to hear about what you need, what every aspiring speaker, transformational speaker, whatever type of speaker that you feel like you are or that you would desire to be, what you need to know about transforming pain into profit. Because I have discovered in my journey that there are stages that we go through. And I'm getting ready to give you those stages, okay? So if you are one of the people that you are in the trench, whether you are in the trenches of being a speaker or getting paid to speak is what I like to call it, getting paid to speak, which I need to do a video on that too. Like, what does it really mean to get paid to speak? Because I think a lot of people have a big misconception of what that looks like. But we'll talk about that on another day, maybe Wednesday, because I'm going to go live again on Wednesday. Anyway, if you fall under the umbrella of desiring to get paid to speak, or you're already getting paid to speak, meaning that you're already in front of an audience and an audience is already paying you to hear what you have to say, that is you getting paid to speak, then you might actually already be doing it, my dear. Hello? You're probably already doing it. Now, there are some keys for you expanding that. There are some keys for, and when I say expanding that, I'm talking about profitability, and I'm also talking about expanding your audience, right? So let's talk about what are the actual stages of you going from painful to profitable. I have this broken down as stage one is when you are in the painful stage, when you're still in the painful stage. Stage two is when you are in your powerful stage and your purposeful stage. So powerful and purposeful is stage two. And stage three is when you start transforming that into profit. Now let's actually break down these stages, okay? And y'all can drop in the comments and let me know. Hello, whoever is on. I'm not checking. I don't know if that seems rude or not, but trust me, I will get through this so much faster if I don't check the comments. And that's why I do that, because I talk too much. I have a Jupiter and Gemini. Okay, that means talk a lot. That means an abundance of talking. And because I do that, that makes me just take way longer to say what I need to say. But I promise you, if you comment, I will respond to you when I get off here, okay? By the way, if you think that somebody wants to or could use the information that I'm about to give, go ahead on and hit the like button and hit the share button for me, please. If you just bang with me like that, hit the like button or share button for me, please. You know why? Because when y'all do that, it helps me want to make more videos. Because if I feel like I'm making videos or I'm going live and I'm not getting any type of feedback, that's going to discourage me, just like it's going to discourage anybody else. I am just like anybody else. So when I go live on Sundays and Wednesdays, and those videos actually help you, or maybe you might have caught the live because you're on my email list and I sent the live to you when you watched it later, whatever the case may be, if it's helpful for you, please hit the like button, please comment, please share, do all the engagement things that we know that we need to do in order to feed the algorithm, in order to help me continue to make these, okay? Because I don't want to get discouraged about it. I'm pushing through the pain, which is step one. Let's get back to that, okay? So step one in transforming your pain into profit is number one, being in pain. Is being in some type of pain. Now you might be thinking that, well, you don't want to be in pain, or why would you have to keep being in pain? Because it's not just for you. That's the whole thing. You're not here only for you. I keep saying this and I'm going to keep saying it. We are all related and brothers and sisters on earth, and we are actually here to help each other. And we have contracts. Let's talk about metaphysics just for a little bit. We have contracts to fulfill to help each other. And so there is a possibility that you agreed to go through certain traumatic experiences so that you can heal through that. This is your Chiron. This is your Chiron energy. Check your natal chart so that you can heal through that. It could also be Pluto energy, the energy of transformation. But anyway, you agreed to go through certain things so that you can heal, so that you can help somebody else. That is the whole transformation from painful to profitable. But let's say the first stage is you being in the painful stage, which is where you are completely unaware of, you just drowning in chaos at this point. And we all have been there. Let me take a sip of water. Because I talk so much, my mouth be dry or my throat be dry. So we have all been there, right? We have all been when we are just drowning in our chaos and things are just out of hand at this point. Whatever the case may be, there's really only three main areas of life where that we care enough to feel a lot of pain. And it's usually wealth, which is money issues, health, obviously what health is, right? Our body not functioning the way that it's supposed to, and relationships, health, wealth, and relationships. These three things show up in the zodiac, as a matter of fact. All type of psychological issues that we have show up in the zodiac. But I'm not talking about that right now. My point is that you have to be able to recognize that you are in the painful stage and you are just drowning in it. Now, when you are in this stage and you are drowning in it, you are usually oblivious to what is actually happening. You don't even know that you're being transformed. You don't even understand that, no, you're going through this because you're being transformed into something bigger, greater, so that you can help the rest of humanity. In some cases, it is that big. In most cases, I'm going to say in most cases, it is that big. It's just that when we're in it, we don't think that it's that important. We don't think that we're that important. Little old me. I went through all this so that I can help people, blah, blah, blah. We think, little old me, but you don't understand that that is your plan of salvation. And it has to do with you going through something painful. Okay. So if you're in this stage, this is where you are doing a lot of shadow work. You are doing a lot of self-awareness exercise. You should sign up for the Dragon Slayers, the Dragon Slayers training. What do I call it? The Dragon Slayers, yeah. Dragon Slayers, I forget what I call it, Dragon Slayer something. It's in my bio. I had a rough morning this morning, y'all, too. Just getting on here to go live, I had to really push myself to do it because I had a lot going on. Meaning a lot, like I woke up this morning and some parts of my electricity in my house is not coming on. Certain parts is not coming. And I do have no idea why. So now I have to call an electrician. Then that snowballed into, because I have a refrigerator in my basement. And so that part of the electricity is not on. So water started leaking because of what was in the refrigerator. Then people start emailing me because they're enrolled in my course and I made some changes. I moved things from one place to another. And a couple people noticed and they're like, hey, I can't access the course, so I had to solve that problem. I had a lot of problems to solve this morning. My point is that I pushed myself to come on here and go live. And I'm pushing myself right now. The reason why I'm pushing myself is because I told myself that I'm going to go live every Sunday and Wednesday, and I'm sticking to it no matter what. Unless somebody die, and it's that serious, that's the only way I'm coming off the schedule. But I know y'all ain't come on here to hear about the woe is me and what's going on in my world. But I think I'm still making a good point here because those things are not super painful because I can call an electrician and find out what's happening. I got the water up, I took the plug out and plugged it in somewhere else. So, I solved the problem temporarily for right now, but some of y'all are in more detrimental situations. Some of y'all might be on the verge of, I don't know, being evicted from your freaking house. Some of y'all might be on the verge of, I don't know, your health might be super bad. I don't want to cast that spell on anybody, but I'm talking about when you are in this painful stage and you don't realize that when you go through it and you solve the problem, that's how you turn it into profit. Stick with me, y'all. Stick with me, because this is really huge. It took me years to realize, to understand this, to really understand the profit that's in problem solving. Let me say it like that. I'm gonna say within the last year, when I transformed my business more so into focusing on entrepreneurs, that is when I really, really, really started to understand that problem solving creates profit. Problem solving creates profitability. Now, mind you, I think I said this in one of my other videos. Reverend Ike tried to tell me this in a dream before. And the way that he told me had me scratching my freaking head, because I'm like, what are you talking about? What happened was, I was listening to so many Reverend Ike videos that he came into one of my dreams. And what he said to me is, at the time I was also studying Satan too, okay? And so when he said to me, he said something to me like, you don't understand money because you don't understand Satan. I can't remember the exact words, but I know he used those two words in the same sentence. He told me that I would never be able to understand money until I understood Satan. Now, it wasn't in those exact words, but it was something along those lines. And of course, I woke up like, what are you talking about? And I realized years later, because I had this dream like 2 years ago, probably about 2 years ago. I realized years later that because Satan represents adversity and Satan represents the problem. Satan is the problem that needs to be solved. In one sense, okay, Satan represents a lot of things. But what I'm talking about now is when Satan represents the enemy. Satan literally means enemy in the Bible. Okay, so if Satan represents the enemy, it's the problem that needs to be solved. When you figure out how to solve a problem, especially a major problem for yourself, this is why Reverend Ike said, when you understand Satan, you will understand money. When you understand how to solve a problem, you will be able to see its direct connection to profitability. Okay, so I'm not going to keep repeating the stage of being in the problem, but some of y'all are in that stage, and this problem don't gotta be, especially if you have a problem in your entrepreneurship journey, and you solve that, you can figure that out, then you can help other entrepreneurs. That's what I started to realize within myself, that because I had went through those and still in it, right? The 5 years of being booked to travel and speak. And I did it, right? And it was profitable for me for the most part, not every single time, because I broke even sometimes, and sometimes that's how entrepreneurship is. But because I was able to figure out how to generate consistent income for myself and still be able to pay my bills and keep my freaking lights on, then I solved the problem, right? So that means I can help other entrepreneurs solve a problem. Now, I'm not trying to help every entrepreneur, which I learned that too. I'm not trying to help every entrepreneur. I'm trying to help people that want to do what I've already done: travel, speak, and teach, right? So you have to think about the problems that you solve, which leads me into your second stage. Your first stage is that you're in the problem and you just lost in it. And you still fuddling? Let's just say fuddling. You're still fuddling your way through the dark, trying to figure out how to solve this freaking problem. And then somehow you get some light comes on and you figure it out. You figure out something, whether it's something within yourself It could be a mindset shift that you needed to make within yourself. Or it could just be, I don't know, something that you said or did, right? Like I'll give y'all a nugget right here. I learned a long time ago that adversity can build your virtual audience very quickly. You want to build your virtual audience, you can't be afraid to trigger people. Especially if you are a so-called, you're calling yourself a motivational speaker or transformational speaker. You can't be afraid to trigger people. You can't be afraid to say stuff that's going to step on people's toes. People want their toes stepped on. Hello? People be wanting their toes stepped on. Some of y'all follow me because you like the when I step on your toes. Okay? Not in a disrespectful way, but when I call you out and make you realize that you need to change something. Okay, so my point of what I'm getting at here is that when I realized that, and I realized that there was a fast way to build up an audience, that's a problem that I could solve to help another entrepreneur. I might have just helped you out just now. If you ain't afraid, if you ain't scared of being trolled in the comments, and you ain't scared of people, clapping back, and if you ain't scared of that, then yes, they call it polarizing content. That's the formal marketing term for it. Being polarizing, saying something that goes completely against the grain. Like when I was saying no pee for boys. That's very triggering to a lot of people. Anyway, let me move on. What I'm getting at is that when it comes to creating online content, I can help an entrepreneur, especially if they want to be a paid speaker. Your next stage is when you are in your purpose and power. This is when you have solved the problem. Not only have you solved the problem, but you can see when somebody else is having a problem and you help them. You have like X-ray vision because you had the same problem. And so you're walking in your power now. You're walking in your power to the point where you can see where somebody else has the same problem, and you can give them a solution. You can actually walk them through a solution. Now, when I'm saying walk them through a solution, I'm not just saying you give them one thing like what I just gave y'all. No, I'm talking about you can lay out a whole blueprint. You can lay out a whole step-by-step procedure that gets them through to solving from their pain to solving their problem. This is when you start realizing this might actually be my purpose. Your purpose is 9 times out of 10 raveled up in your pain. This is why, again, when you study astrology and you study your natal chart, go read what it says about Chiron, because that's the exact story of Chiron. It's about taking your pain and transforming it to be able to help others, which turns into your full-time purpose. Now you're not hitting a clock and now you're not renting your mind out. Nothing wrong with working a regular job or hitting a clock. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you're sitting in your car crying like I was doing, if you're sitting in the bathroom stall scrolling on your phone because you don't really want to be there like I was doing, then yeah, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to the person who is like, no, I'm okay with working my job. I'm not talking to you. And that's okay. I'm talking to the person who's sitting in the car crying because they feel like they got a bigger purpose. And they feel like they got more to give this earth than when they're going to their regular job and they're renting their mind out for somebody else. That's what's happening. You rented your brain out. You rented your mind out, which is your soul. The word mind and soul is interchangeable. For those who may disagree with that, I'm going by what it means in the Bible and what it means, the etymology of it, where mind and soul is interchangeable. So are you renting your mind out? Or are you renting your soul out? By getting up every day doing something that's not really what you want to do. Nobody's saying you got to turn around tomorrow and go jump off the cliff and go quit your job. But what I'm telling you is that to go from painful to profitable, if you have resolved a problem and you know that you have resolved a major problem under health, wealth, and relationships. Those are the main areas that people will pay to fix. Okay. This is why I said at the beginning, if you missed it and you just coming in, what I said was that adversity is where your money is at. Solving adversity, solving problems is where the bag is at. Helping other people solve problems that you have already solved for yourself. You've already figured out for you, you've already came up with your own signature program within yourself. Some of y'all created a signature course or program within yourself that you do within yourself on a daily, weekly, monthly, whatever basis, and it's working for you. And you don't even know that you have a course in your head. Maybe you do know, and you're just scared to put yourself out there. But if you have came up with some type of program that you put yourself on and it works for you, what makes you think it won't work for somebody else? If you could come up with a step-by-step procedure, that's what people want. People want step-by-step content. Well, not content. People want like a blueprint. That's why I called my, when I did the 3-day traveling speakers blueprint, because people want things in step-by-step. People want to be able to, people want you to say, do 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't you want that? That's how the whole universe is, everything in the astrology. I'm going to keep going back to astrology. Astrology is set up like that. Because before you do this, you got to do that. And before you do this, before you can have it, because Taurus comes after Aries, before you can have it, you got to I am it. And before you I am it, you got to believe it. That's Pisces. And then before you believe it, you got to know it. Maybe some people might not agree with that, the way that it goes, but I'm just telling you what God said or what our ancient ancestors said. How do we come up with these mottos? Anyway, my point here is that the way the psychological will, the cycle will, which is the zodiac, the way that it's designed, it's like you got to do this before you do that, and then you got to do this before you do that, and then you got to do this before you do that. It's just like fall, winter, spring, and summer. These are steps, and they don't change. The law doesn't change. All right, let me move on. Now, you're in your purpose and power because you've resolved your own problem. And you have even created some type of daily thing that you're doing or weekly thing that you're doing, where you done solved the problem and you figured out what you need to do on a regular, you got a step-by-step procedure that you done gave yourself. You can help somebody else. This, when you start helping other people and you start realizing like, damn, this actually worked. Now you are in your purpose and you are in your power. You are still not in your profit. That's the part right there. Because now you got all these people coming to you. Oh, can you help me? Oh, can you help me? Ooh, people coming in your inbox, people calling you. You're leaving all that money on the table because you still haven't transformed your mind to realize that the money is in the problem that you solved. I don't care if you learn how to make a new freaking vegetarian dish. A lot of people don't like vegan cheese, but you came up with some type of, in your kitchen, you came up with some type of vegan cheese that everybody that have it be like, oh, this is banging. That people that's not even a vegan are like, oh yeah, I would eat this. They can't even tell. Or they like, this tastes better than the regular cheese. You have solved a problem. Hello? The problem ain't always about, let me help you change your mindset. Let me help you live your best life. Nothing wrong with being a mindset coach and all that, but we talking about stuff that's you can actually like measure. Measurable problems. Oh, that's a whole nother topic. Measurable problems. Anyway, let's talk about how now people are starting to come to you and they want to know the answer to the problem. They want to know, how do I get out of this? How do I stop attracting F-boys? That was self-realization of a goddess. That wasn't its core offer, but a lot of it was centered around us understanding our feminine energy and our relationship with men, and how we create our own karma, how we actually create. Self-realization of a goddess has a lot to do with how us as women actually create the same men that we complain about, because it has to do with the karma. But anyway, how do you get into your profitability? First of all, you have to stop being afraid to put a dollar sign in front of your mouth. You have to stop being afraid to put a dollar sign in front of your mouth. Do you know that the word sales is also the word say less? For those who are new to my channel, new to my page, that is word magic, what I just did. So I don't hear words the same as the average person. The word sales is also telling you to say less. So it's not necessarily saying like to stop speaking, because communication is sales. That's the reason why Mercury, the Mercurian, the merchant, rules over commerce, and Mercury is also the god of communication, because communication and commerce are one. So nobody's saying that you should be speaking less, but you need to be monitoring your speech, and you need to be determining where's your profit at in what you're saying, because that's the first part of you making a sale. What you're saying and who you're saying it to, how you're saying it. Anyway, I be having so much to say, but again, sales is say less. Sales, this is free. This is free content, right? That's why I have courses and programs and mentorships and blah, 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 because you need to, if you want to turn it into profit, then you need to learn how to put a dollar sign in front of your mouth. Let's talk about what that looks like. How you can transform your problem solving into your profitability. No matter what the problem was that you solved, right? It could be something physical that you created. It could be some mental transformation that you went through. Okay, because a lot of people get concerned about, oh, but there's a lot of people already doing this and teaching this and talking about this. They don't have your story. This is where your brand story comes into play. This is where you got to understand that sales has a lot to do with your personality. When I was a sales rep for the post office, people would tell me that they switched from UPS to the post office because they like me. Because I came in there, it wasn't necessarily the presentation that I gave. It was me. It was whatever I was doing or saying, they liked me. There's people there. Anyway, I'm not, okay. Say less. Say less. How you turn your pain into your profit? You do it, you get paid to speak through mentorship programs, through one-on-one consults, through private memberships, through speaking events, through your own speaking events, or somebody bringing you to their speaking event, putting you on a stage in front of their audience, right? Through a book that you wrote. Did I say a course? Through a course that you created. Pre-recorded courses are the best because they turn into passive income, right? Because you only had to make it one time. You had to make it one time, but then you had to master the art of selling it over and over and over again, which I ain't saying that that's easy. I'm still in the trenches with that. But it has taken care of me. Selling courses and membership programs and speaking has taken care of me for the past 5 years. Because your money is in front of your mouth. So let's talk about what you need to do from here. What's your next step? If you sat here and listened to this whole video or not, you can come back and finish it, whatever. First of all, your first step is to figure out, what stage am I in? Am I in the painful stage where I don't know what is going on and I'm still trying to figure out how to solve this problem? Am I in the power and purpose stage where I have figured out where to solve the problem and how to solve the problem? And people are actually coming to me to ask me for my advice on how to solve the problem. That's your power and purpose stage. Or am I in the profitability stage where I am either already in the trenches, right? You're already selling your course, your mentorship program. You already hosting events, but maybe it's not scaling the way that you want it to, right? Or maybe it is. If it is, then let's have a conversation, because I would love to talk to you. If you already making the $5,000 a month, which is what I tell people that I can show them how to do. If you already making that, then you probably not my target audience, because I stick to where I'm comfortable at. I stick to numbers that I really have hit multiple times. And when I'm being consistent, I know that I can do, right? So what I'm getting at is, but if you are not there and your stuff is like crazy fluctuating because you're not being consistent, that's another problem, because you're not being consistent. But anyway, you're the person I want to talk to. If you're in that profitable stage, you are the person that I want to talk to. You are my target audience. Okay. If you're already doing it, you're just not seeing the profit the way you want to. You are my target audience. One of my students in the mentorship program, when she first came in, she had like 1,000 followers. She did some of the steps that I told everybody to do in regards to building their virtual audience, and she now has like 14,000 followers. Now that took her, I don't know, she's probably been in there for about 5 months, something like that. What I'm getting at though is that one of the first things you need to do to get paid to speak is to build an audience. You cannot sit up there and wait. If you think in your head, I'm gonna make another video about this, but I'm still gonna talk about it right now, just a little bit. If you're telling yourself that being paid to speak means that somebody else is cutting you a check to bring you in to speak, you are limiting your mindset. You need to switch your mindset right there. Because you can get paid to speak in multiple ways. It is not just somebody cutting you a check. It is your audience that you have in front of you. They are the ones paying you to speak. When you build a virtual audience, they are the ones cutting the check, right? At least in the beginning, while you're building your virtual audience, and then you transform your virtual audience into a physical audience. They buy into your story and how you can help them so much to where as though, yes, they will get in their car and drive miles to come hear you speak, or they will even get in on a plane and come fly out to hear you speak, right? Why would they do that? Because they have bought into your story. But this takes a skill to master you building that type of audience. To building the type of audience that actually see you as an expert in a specific niche that can help them solve a specific problem, right? So here's what I want you to do. First of all, I want you to determine what stage are you in. Are you in the painful stage? Are you in the purposeful and powerful stage? Or are you in the profitable stage? If you are in the profitable stage, I would like to talk to you. Book a call with me, because what I want to ask you to do, or what I want to ask us to do together, is to compare what you're currently doing to my 27 steps. I have a 27, well, it's a 9-step blueprint, but it's 27 steps inside of it, right? Let's compare what you're currently doing to what I've already done. And let's see, do you have any holes in what you're doing? Because if you have holes in what you're doing, then I can help you. because I've done it and I'm doing it. Right? Now, you can book the call. I'm going to drop the link when I get off here. Or you can go to you can go to the bio right now. You can go to my bio right now and scroll down and where it says, book a call, book a painful to profitable audit. And that's where we will do your audit at. But being completely transparent with you, that audit is for people that are looking for mentorship. So if you are not looking for mentorship, then don't even bother, because it's going to ask you, are you looking for mentorship right now? Do you want help? That's what I'm asking. Do you want help, or do you really just want somebody to tell you that you have holes in your stuff? That's what I'm saying. When I say, are you looking for mentorship? I'm asking you, do you want help? Or do you just want somebody to tell you that you got holes in your stuff? If you want help, then yes, go ahead on and book me. We'll spend 30 minutes going over what you're currently doing and comparing it to the 27 steps. Okay, y'all. Let me go ahead on and get off here. One more thing before I get off. What I will also do on that call is I will give you a breakdown of where the $5,000 a month comes in at. I will show you how you can do it by speaking. It's not hard to do. It's about being consistent. That is the harder part, is about being consistent. Just like I said earlier, I had to push myself to go live today because I had so much other stuff going on in my house. I really, didn't want to push myself. But when it comes to being a solo entrepreneur, sometimes you have to push through that. As a matter of fact, I'll leave you with this. Mr. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says this is what separates experts from amateurs. Experts push through. They do things when they don't feel like doing it. Amateurs, they say, I don't feel like doing that. I'm not going to do that right now. You have to push through it if you want to really make this thing work. All right, y'all, I'm getting off. Thank y'all for listening. Talk to you later. Okay, bye.